more of a challenge than a project. And to be honest, I've underestimated it quite a few times. This project, for me, it's not just about doing something that's never been seen before. No, but a real achievement. Putting myself to the test as a mechanic after working alongside Roberto in the workshop for so many years has meant a lot to me. And being able to complete a project like this, where there were, as I was saying, so many unexpected events and so many things that simply due to inexperience, I underestimated. I can assure you that there were many people who told me, no, just leave it, it's not right, that tail section, it's a mess to reposition everything. But I, stubborn as I am, kept going my own way. Seeing her here today, ready next to me, is truly a great satisfaction. In this episode, what I want to do is go over with you the adventure that we saw start in August on my channel. But from August until now, we've really made a lot of progress. And it's possible that maybe someone between the holidays and various vacations might have missed some fragments of this adventure here and there. At the beginning of this year, I decided to get this MT10 already with a clear idea in mind, that I would do an out-of-the-box project which would lead me to raise the technical level a bit, both personally and for the channel. Until now, you've seen me tinkering, yes, with motorcycles, with Roberto doing some minor work even by myself, but I had never done something like this before. Once I found the right partners, it was time to start. And after 8 months, between calls and emails, I managed to get on board. For this project, eBay, which as you know has been supporting this whole adventure since the very first episode. So I found the perfect site for sourcing the parts needed to start the project. I placed a nice order and had the parts delivered here to my house. And seeing a complete, almost brand new frame from an R1 arrive was quite an exciting feeling. Also because up until then, all I had was the question, how can I get my hands on this blessed frame? The worries immediately turned into, but will it fit? ? And this, as some of you have also written in the comments, is not new. It wasn't the focus of the project, even though in the end it played a big part in this adventure, because swapping the tail on the MT10 is something that has already been done both on the first generation and on the second generation, but I didn't want to stop there. And in fact, I tried to make you understand that the project wouldn't just be about this tail swap, but rather about making a very underrated bike unique. I gathered all the necessary parts to start the project. It was time to roll up my sleeves and get started. And I knew that once I unscrewed the first screw, there would be no turning back. That's just how I am. Once I set my mind to something, I absolutely have to see it through. Do you remember the exact moment when I went to remove the tail of the MT, put on the one from the R1, and saw that it just wouldn't fit? This is the face of terror. Even though I'm smiling, in my eyes and in my head I was panicking. From there, I finally saw a bit of a downhill. I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was getting closer to my goal. Until the moment when I had to put everything back that I had previously taken out of the tail of the R1. The tail which doesn't offer all that much space because it's much narrower, and there I basically had to play Tetris. Even as a kid, I wasn't very good at it. But let's say that at 30 on the MT10 for this project, I made my mark. So I relocated the engine control unit and all the components. By connecting through specific adapters made especially for the project, the various wirings to the new parts taken from the R1 and installed on the MT. The tail section was finally closed. From there, the bike was finally running first road tests. But I knew I still had to face one of the most important steps of this project. Roberto Che's opinion, even if it might seem silly to you, really means a lot to me. Because Roberto, over the years, has always been a technical support on the channel, and in terms of friendship, an important one too. Having his endorsement, or at least his approval of the project, despite, and let's be honest, his initial doubts, it meant a lot to me. But to consider the project completed, there was still a long way to go because an important fundamental piece was missing, a dedicated graphic. So I took the bike from Emoto and moved it to Giulio Design together with him. One last roll up of the sleeves, and today I can finally present it to you. Yamaha MT-SPX. That's the name I decided to give to the creature I pulled out of my garage. Not MT-10 Special because that's too long, hard to remember, and besides, special is an overused word. So I tried to make something custom, just like the rest of the project for her. Let's start with the name itself, and as a result with the logo that Giulio and I designed and created together, inspired by the one from the R1M. In fact, just like the rest of the bike, the concept behind the project is to create something that is both unique and potentially original. So we were really inspired by the design and colors, even for creating the graphics that Yamaha usually uses. The logo, in fact, identifies the family, the MT, and then adds the SPX suffix, which, if you will, we could call racing. Logo, then, together with our friends from Volcano, we decided to embroider it into this graphic that replaces the original seat cover, obviously creating a mix between real and synthetic Alcantara. Graphics that, as you have seen, use the original colors that Yamaha usually uses as standard on its R1M, and not only that. Something definitely needs to be said now. With this wrap, Giulio has outdone himself. The quality of the film and Giulio's application give it a paint-like effect. It almost doesn't look like a film. And as proof of this, many of you at ECMA International asked me whether it was painted or wrapped. So we decided to remove all the black, turning it into this silver, and then add blue to the details. Since the SP series wheels were already that color, everything that was silver before has now become black. So it's a complete wrap job except for the side fairings with the wings, which were painted by Giulio. And here, guys, an important chapter opens up because making these fairings was anything but simple. Fortunately, though, she came to my rescue. Sumitrai, as you saw, I made several custom 3D printed parts for this project. Sometimes, though, the home 3D printer, besides having low quality, also has its limits. With Xometry and just a few clicks on their website, I was able to upload the project and have it custom made for me using the type of 3D printing I was interested in. With the material I chose for both fairings, the material arrived unfinished, but it already had a great finish to begin with. Together with Giulio, we sanded it and then painted it, and this made the entire surface practically perfect. So the advice I can give you if you have a project to realize, meaning to bring it to life from the computer to a real object you can hold, is to rely on them. Below, in the description, I'll leave you the link with a discount code so you can have your project printed by them and have it delivered to your home while paying a little less. Obviously, besides Xometry, I also have to thank you all who have supported and followed the entire series from August until today. It was difficult and complicated, and I don't want to go on because I already said what I needed at the start of the video. I want to hear from many of you in the comments. Let me know what you think about the completed project and the motorcycle, just as I presented it to you today. For those of you who made it this far before saying goodbye, and of course inviting you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like and turn on the notification bell. I have a little spoiler for 2025 ready. Here we are, I was waiting for you. 2025, I'm in.